The vast emptiness of space stretched before the human exploration vessel like an infinite canvas of darkness. Inside the craft, Jay Park stood near the primary observation window, his hands clasped behind his back, watching the distant star clusters with quiet intensity. The ship's internal systems hummed softly, a gentle reminder of humanity's technological heartbeat. Haye Kim monitored the quantum communication arrays, her fingers moving with practiced precision across holographic displays. Something felt different about this particular mission. The research team had been tracking unusual energy signatures for weeks, patterns that didn't match any known galactic phenomenon. Suddenly, the communication panel flickered. A massive shadow blocked the starlight, an alien vessel larger than anything humanity had ever encountered. Its metallic surface gleamed with an almost organic complexity, reflecting multiple wavelengths of light that human sensors struggled to comprehend. "Incoming transmission," Haye whispered, her voice tight with anticipation. A harsh mechanical voice filled the bridge. "Unidentified vessel. You have entered restricted space of the Nexus Collective. State your purpose." Jay's eyes narrowed. The translation algorithms worked quickly, converting the alien language into something comprehensible. But there was an underlying tone of superiority, a condescension that immediately set him on edge. "This is Captain Jay Park of the United Earth Exploration Vessel Horizon," he responded, keeping his voice calm and neutral. "We are on a peaceful scientific mission of exploration." The response came immediately, cold and calculating. "Peaceful? Your species is classified as Emerging Technology Level 3. Your presence in this sector is unauthorized." Wu Li, the ship's tactical officer, leaned closer to Jay. "They're scanning us," he muttered. "Comprehensive deep-spectrum scan. They're collecting every piece of data they can." The alien vessel moved closer, its immense size dwarfing the human exploration ship. Mechanical appendages extended from its hull, complex sensor arrays probing every millimeter of the human craft. "We detect multiple technological inconsistencies," the alien voice continued. "Your vessel contains capabilities beyond your species' documented developmental stage. Explanation required." Haye's fingers danced across her console. She was recording everything, every transmission, every energy signature. Something about this encounter felt different. Not just a simple first contact, but something more significant. Jay understood the game being played. The aliens were testing, measuring, categorizing. Humanity was being evaluated like a specimen under a microscope. He chose his next words carefully. "We seek knowledge," he said. "Understanding. Exploration is our purpose." A moment of silence followed. Then the mechanical voice returned, now with a hint of something almost like amusement, but amusement tinged with profound dismissal. "Exploration. A primitive concept. The Nexus Collective has mapped over 3,000 galaxies. Your species has barely touched its own solar system. Your technological capabilities are minimal." The ship's communication system translated the alien words, but the underlying message was clear. Humans were irrelevant, insignificant, a species barely worth acknowledging. Wu Li's hand moved subtly towards the defensive systems control. Years of military training had prepared him for potential conflict, even as diplomatic protocols demanded restraint. Haye continued recording, her scientific curiosity overriding any sense of potential threat. Each transmission, each energy pulse was a treasure trove of data about an advanced civilization. "We will allow your vessel to return to its origin point," the alien voice declared. "Further incursion will result in immediate neutralization. This is your only warning." Jay felt something stirring within him, not fear, not anger, but a profound sense of challenge. The aliens saw humanity as insignificant, but they didn't understand the human capacity for adaptation, for innovation. As the massive alien vessel began to move, creating ripples in the quantum fabric of space that would have destroyed less robust vessels, Jay Park allowed himself a slight smile. This was not an ending. This was a beginning. The first encounter between humanity and the Nexus Collective was complete. But the real story was just about to unfold. The research complex stood like a beacon of human determination. Massive screens filled with complex data streams covered every wall, displaying calculations and simulations that pushed the boundaries of known science. Haya Kim stood at the center, her eyes reflecting the blue-white glow of quantum computing arrays. Days after the alien encounter, governments and scientific institutions worldwide had transformed. No longer were resources divided or research compartmentalized. Humanity had unified with a single purpose: technological advancement. Wu Li arrived, bringing a stack of classified reports. "They underestimated us," he said simply. His military background combined with scientific training made him a critical bridge between defense and innovation. Yun Choi, the AI development specialist, was already working on something revolutionary. Her team had begun analyzing the brief transmission data from the alien encounter. What most would see as incomprehensible noise, she saw as a complex communication algorithm waiting to be decoded. "We're not just catching up," Yun muttered, her fingers moving rapidly across holographic interfaces. "We're going to leap ahead." The first breakthrough came unexpectedly. A young researcher named Jin Park discovered a quantum entanglement pattern that could potentially create instantaneous communication across vast distances. The implications were staggering: a technology that could revolutionize everything from space exploration to military strategy. Military research facilities began converting civilian technologies at unprecedented speeds. Manufacturing plants that once produced consumer electronics now created advanced sensor systems. Automobile factories transformed into spacecraft component manufacturers overnight. Jay Park oversaw much of this transformation. His strategic mind understood that technology was more than just hardware. It was about adaptability, about thinking beyond current limitations. The global network of research centers worked like a single, massive brain. When one team made a two-sided discovery, it was immediately shared. Redundancies were eliminated. Competition replaced with collaborative acceleration. Satellite networks began picking up subtle energy signatures from the alien transmission. Each fragment of data was analyzed, dissected, understood. What the aliens thought was a simple warning became humanity's greatest learning opportunity. Yun's AI system started developing predictive models. They could now anticipate potential technological pathways, creating simulation scenarios that pushed innovation beyond traditional boundaries. Machine learning algorithms began generating potential defense and communication technologies faster than human researchers could traditionally conceptualize. Within weeks, prototype quantum communication devices emerged, small devices that could potentially communicate across light years in milliseconds. Military strategists realized these weren't just communication tools, they were potential game changers in any future conflict. Wu Li's tactical simulations revealed something extraordinary. By analyzing the brief alien encounter, they discovered potential weaknesses in advanced technological systems. The aliens' own communication protocols contained subtle vulnerabilities that could be exploited. They were so confident, Wu explained, during a briefing, that they didn't consider we might quickly adapt and understand their technology. Research centers worked around the clock. Coffee machines became permanent fixtures. Sleeping pods replaced traditional offices. The entire human research ecosystem had transformed into a continuous, adaptive machine of innovation. Quantum shields emerged from theoretical concepts into practical prototypes. AI-driven defensive systems that could predict and counter potential threats became more than just science fiction. They became imminent reality. Choi Kim's team made another critical discovery. By understanding the quantum communication patterns from the alien transmission, they could potentially develop communication technologies that could penetrate any known electronic barrier. The world watched as humanity's technological leap accelerated. What seemed impossible mere months ago now appeared not just probable, but inevitable. Jay Park looked at the gathered researchers during a critical meeting. "We are not just defending ourselves," he said. "We are redefining what it means to be a technological civilization." The alien encounter had done more than threaten humanity. It had awakened a sleeping giant of innovation, creativity, and collective determination. Something fundamental had changed. Humanity was no longer just observing the universe. They were preparing to actively engage with it, on their own terms. The first battle erupted like a silent storm in the infinite darkness of space. Alien warships approached, confident in their technological superiority, expecting another easy conquest. They were wrong. J. Park watched from the command center as human vessels moved with unexpected grace. Each ship was now equipped with quantum adaptive shielding, a technology developed in record time, where traditional military vessels would have been destroyed. These new crafts danced between alien weapon systems. Shi Kim's communication systems worked perfectly. Instantaneous quantum links connected every human vessel, creating a network more complex and adaptive than any single command structure. Information flowed like electrical impulses in a living brain. The alien commander, watching from his massive carrier, couldn't comprehend what was happening. Human ships weren't just defending, they were transforming the very concept of space warfare. Small human vessels darted between massive alien battleships. Their movement patterns were unpredictable, almost organic. Advanced AI systems predicted and countered alien weapon trajectories milliseconds before they were executed. Wu Li's tactical simulations had prepared them for this moment. Every potential alien attack scenario had been studied, analyzed, and a counter-strategy developed. What seemed like random movement was actually carefully calculated precision. Yun Choi's AI systems controlled defensive and offensive capabilities. They learned with each passing second, adapting faster than any biological intelligence could process. Where alien systems followed rigid protocols, human technology evolved in real time. The first alien battleship exploded not from a direct weapon hit, but from its own internal system failure. Human technology had found and exploited a fundamental weakness in their communication networks. They never considered we could understand their technology so quickly, Jay muttered, watching the holographic battle display. Alien weapon systems that had destroyed countless civilizations suddenly seemed obsolete. Quantum shields absorbed energy blasts. Adaptive hull configurations redirected destructive forces. Each human vessel became a living, thinking weapon. Communication intercepts revealed growing panic among the alien command. Their mathematical warfare models collapsed against human unpredictability. Humans weren't following any known strategic pattern. One human squadron leader sent a transmission that would become legendary. "We are not your typical prey." The battlefield transformed from a traditional military engagement into something entirely new. It wasn't just about destroying enemy vessels. It was about demonstrating a fundamental difference in technological and strategic thinking. Smaller human vessels began using coordinated swarm tactics. Each ship functioned as part of a larger, intelligent network. When one was threatened, others immediately adjusted, creating defensive patterns that seemed almost alive. Alien commanders watched in disbelief as their most advanced weapon systems were neutralized. Targeting computers failed. Communication networks became compromised. What should have been a simple conquest turned into a nightmare of technological confusion. Shi Kim's quantum communication systems did something unprecedented. They began to subtly infiltrate alien communication networks, gathering intelligence and creating strategic disruptions. Information became a weapon more powerful than any physical attack. The battle lasted less than 3 standard hours. When it ended, human losses were minimal. Alien losses were catastrophic. J. Park understood the deeper significance. This wasn't just a military victory. This was a fundamental shift in galactic power dynamics. Humanity had shown it was not just a potential threat, but a civilization capable of rapid, unprecedented adaptation. "We are not what they expected," Jay said quietly, watching the final alien vessels retreat. The universe had just witnessed something extraordinary. A young civilization had not just survived a potential extinction-level threat. They had transformed the very concept of technological warfare. As debris from the battle drifted in the cold darkness of space, one thing became clear. Humanity was no longer just another species. They were a force to be recognized, respected, and potentially feared. Space burned with the intensity of 1,000 silent explosions. Massive alien battleships hung like wounded predators against the starry backdrop, their once perfect metallic surfaces now scarred and broken. Jay Park watched the holographic display, his eyes reflecting the complex battle patterns. Humanity had moved beyond simple defense. They were now executing a strategy that defied every known galactic warfare protocol. Chae Kim's quantum communication network transformed each human vessel into a living, thinking entity. Ships moved not as individual units, but as a collective intelligence. Where alien technology predicted movement, human vessels created impossible trajectories. The Nexus Collective's military command watched in growing horror. Their mathematical warfare models collapsed against human unpredictability. Humans weren't just fighting, they were rewriting the fundamental rules of conflict. Wu Li's tactical team had developed something revolutionary: adaptive AI systems that could predict and counter alien weapon systems faster than biological intelligence could comprehend. Each weapon launch was neutralized before it could become a threat. "They're learning faster than we can adapt," muttered the alien fleet commander, watching his most advanced battle strategies crumble. Human vessels moved like intelligent swarms. Small craft combined defensive capabilities, creating temporary shields that could absorb massive energy discharges. When one vessel was threatened, others immediately adjusted, creating dynamic protective patterns. Yoon Choi's AI development had transformed warfare from a physical confrontation to an intelligent dance of technological adaptation. Machine learning. Algorithms processed billions of potential scenarios each second, finding vulnerabilities that no biological intelligence could detect. The battlefield became a canvas of human innovation. Quantum-entangled communication systems allowed instantaneous strategic adjustments. What seemed like random movement was actually a complex, living strategy. One human squadron leader's transmission captured the moment's essence. "We are not your standard prey. We are the hunters now." Alien weapon systems that had destroyed thousands of civilizations suddenly seemed obsolete. Quantum shields absorbed energy blasts. Adaptive hull configurations redirected destructive forces. Each human vessel became a thinking, evolving weapon. The Nexus Collective's mathematical perfection crumbled against human creativity. Their rigid strategic models failed against an opponent who didn't follow traditional warfare rules. Massive, alien carriers began retreating. Their communication networks compromised, their weapon systems neutralized, their strategic superiority demolished. Humanity had done more than defend itself. It had fundamentally transformed the concept of technological warfare. Jay Park understood this was more than a military engagement. This was a statement. Humanity was declaring its place in the galactic ecosystem, not as a potential victim, but as a force to be respected. Chae Kim's quantum systems continued gathering intelligence. Each alien transmission, each energy signature became a learning opportunity. The humans weren't just fighting, they were studying, understanding, preparing. The battle lasted less than 6 standard hours. When the cosmic dust settled, the results were clear. Humanity had not just survived, they had dominated. Alien communication networks revealed growing panic. Their leadership struggled to understand an opponent that didn't follow any known strategic pattern. Humans had transformed warfare from a mathematical equation to an art of adaptive intelligence. Wu Li's final battle report was simple and profound. "We are not what they expected." The universe watched as a young civilization demonstrated something extraordinary. Technological superiority wasn't about hardware. It was about adaptability, creativity, collective intelligence. As damaged alien vessels limped away, one thing became absolutely clear. Humanity was no longer just another species in the galactic catalog. They were a civilization that would define its own destiny. The breaking point had been reached, and the message was unmistakable. The Galactic Council chamber stood silent, filled with representatives from hundreds of advanced civilizations. Holographic displays showed battle records, technological analyses and strategic reports about humanity's unexpected rise. J. Park walked in, wearing a simple uniform that carried more weight than any ceremonial dress. Behind him, Hai Kim and Wu Li represented humanity's scientific and military achievements. The alien representatives watched carefully, some with respect, some with lingering fear, most with a mixture of both. Humanity was not supposed to be a threat, mumbled the Nexus Collective's primary representative. His mechanical voice carried a tone of disbelief. Our calculations never predicted this outcome. Yoon Choi's AI research had become legendary. Multiple civilizations now studied human technological adaptation as a new model of evolutionary development. What seemed impossible months ago was now standard academic study across multiple star systems. Jay understood the moment's significance. This wasn't just a military hearing. This was humanity's official introduction to the larger galactic community. We did not seek conflict, Jay stated simply. His words carried weight, translated across multiple communication spectrums. We seek understanding, cooperation, progress. The chamber remained quiet. Each representative analyzed his statement, running linguistic and psychological algorithms to understand potential hidden meanings. Chai Kim's quantum communication breakthrough had already transformed galactic communication technologies. Civilizations that once took decades to exchange messages could now communicate instantaneously. Her research had effectively shrunk the universe. Wu Li stood silently, his military background evident in his posture, but his eyes showed something more. A deep understanding that true strength wasn't about destruction, but about potential. The Galactic Council's historical records would later show this moment as a turning point. A young civilization had not just survived a potential extinction event. They had redefined the very concept of technological evolution. Alien representatives reviewed holographic displays showing human technological progression. From first space exploration to quantum warfare, humanity had compressed centuries of development into months. Your species adapts faster than any recorded civilization, said a crystalline representative from the Andromeda cluster. This is unexpected. Jay understood the deeper implications. Humanity wasn't just being evaluated, they were being recognized as a serious galactic power. The Nexus Collective's representative made a formal statement. Humanity is no longer classified as an emerging technological species. You are now considered a Class A technological civilization. Those words carried massive significance. It meant diplomatic recognition, trade possibilities, scientific exchange, but more importantly, it meant respect. Chai Kim's research teams had already begun collaborative projects with multiple alien scientific communities. Quantum communication, adaptive AI systems, and advanced technological models were being shared and developed. Wu Li's military strategies were now studied in warfare academies across multiple star systems. His approach of adaptive, intelligent conflict resolution had become a new standard. We do not seek to conquer, Jay said, looking around the massive chamber. We seek to understand, to grow, to contribute. The silence that followed was not uncomfortable. It was filled with potential, with possibility. Humanity had transformed from a species considered insignificant to a civilization that could reshape galactic dynamics, not through aggression, but through innovation, through adaptability, through an unbreakable spirit of exploration and understanding. As the Galactic Council session concluded, one thing became absolutely clear. The universe had a new player, and nothing would ever be the same again. Humanity had arrived, not as conquerors, not as victims, but as partners in a complex, beautiful, ever-expanding cosmic story. The recognition was complete. The future was waiting.